Welcome to CGTN Special Roundtable on the two sessions live in Beijing. I'm CGTN reporter Jiaxin, meeting our two other reporters here.
I'm Feng Yilei. I've been covering the session of the 14th NPC in the past several days.
And I'm CGTN reporter Tianyuan. I've been covering CPPCC events this year.
So CGTN this year for the two sessions has assigned 6+ reporters to cover this year's political seasons. Specifically, we have 4 reporters on, as Yilei mentioned, National People's Congress, or NPC, the China's top legislature, and 2 reporters on the CPPCC, the National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, the China's top political advisory body. So it's been almost a week, and we've been here reporting this. I'm going to start with you, Tianyuan, because your coverage on the CPPCC is just a day ahead of the NPC.
Yes.
What stories that you are working on, and what's the interesting part you found from your reporting?
Well, it's certainly a fascinating year for me to cover the CPPCC annual events. Actually, we started on the 3rd of March. There was a press conference, and we went over so much topics on a press conference that day. Well, went over a range of topics, including economy, education, and also the proposals the 13th National Committee of the CPPCC has received over the past 5 years. So I think the number was like 29,000 proposals. Think about it, 29,000 proposals they received over the past 5 years. So that's a lot to cover. And we received the proposal from different topics and also from different people from all walks of life. So this is how exactly the CPPCC works. People, experts, officials, and as well as ministers, working together to bring this country into a better future. So that's a lot to cover. And also we have the chairman, Wang Yang, also made a speech at the opening session, and he stressed the importance of unity and democracy within the CPPCC. And also I met the non-CPC party members of the CPPCC. So that's a lot of things to cover over the past week. So what about you, Yilei?
Well, as Jiaxin has just mentioned, we have a relatively bigger team because the NPC has a more tight schedule. In the past, let's say, 5 days, 6 days. So to me, I also attended the press conference ahead of the session, and also we have been closely following a series of reports of, let's say, the central government and also China's top legislature, the Central Committee of NPC, and then the Supreme Court and the Supreme Procuratorate. So it's really almost all aspects of people's daily life and what the country has been achieved, not just in the past year, but also past 5 years or even past decade. And also you can get a general idea of what the country is going to do in the future. So I also, what impressed me most is that I really get an opportunity to talk to deputies and also some of the CPPCC members face-to-face this time, instead of just talk to them over phone or online.
Are you talking about the corridor?
Not just the corridor, but just a wide range of occasions, as you say, corridors and press conference, and they have sort of meetings, both online and offline. Also, you can meet them just at the Great Hall of the People, face-to-face.
So for our audiences to understand what's going on here, for the NPC, we have the deputies. Most of their work during these 2 sessions is to review and deliberate some of the government work, as you said, work from different institutions within the State Council. And also, we would just deliver some draft plan. For example, like tomorrow, they will, deliver some important draft plan for China's. For me, actually, I also had the chance to talk with some deputies and members of the CPPCC. What they've been concerned about is that because this is the first year, this is the first time after the pandemic that China held this convention for this political consultation and also the political decisions for China's development. And also, it was after China's 20th National Party's Congress. So these kind of things make this important, and also we are also expecting the new leadership of the government, and that's the thing. And I just wanted to ask Tianyuan, because we know that at the press conference of the CPPCC, we learned that for different delegates, for different members, they have a different way to propose their proposals. For example, they can discuss issues on the mobile platform. Yeah. Do you have any details about that?
Well, this is a new thing for me. I didn't know they can do it on a mobile phone on an entirely application.
So does it mean that there's no more paperwork?
Yeah, you can do it paper, but most of the work is now done by a mobile phone. You can just submit your proposals, 1, 2, 3, and then boom, it's for review. So I talked to one of the CPPCC members yesterday and asked him how's your proposal. Yeah, because I talked to him before, like a month before, in Ningxia, which is like 2,000 kilometers away from Beijing, and I asked him about his proposals this year, and he said, okay, I'm going to focus on environment this year because this is a new sector the CPPCC has said for in about 30 years. So this is completely new. This shows how China is dedicated to push its green development, and it shows the determination in this sector. And he says, okay, I'm going to push the China's seed industry, and by building like a ranch for seeds for the livestock feed. So this is completely new for me, and I asked me, so I'm going to meet you in Beijing and tell me, bring me the updates of how it's going. And he told me, he said, okay, it's been reviewed this year, and I listened to the government report. I'm really excited because it actually mentioned a lot of ecology and green development this year. So he's so excited as an ecologist.
So we've been busy with our work. I know that I've been with you quite a lot, and I know that you've been busy with, interviewing with some deputies inside the Great Hall of the People, because the other day I saw that they were queuing up for your interview. So share with us some more about that.
Yeah, I think some of those stories just echo with what Tianyuan has just shared with us. This time, I think I'm quite lucky to be given a chance to do something, a special series of CGTN, to something like a sort of a relay to work on a report with another correspondent in the rest part of
people's
the country.
Democracy.
Indeed. So to me, I talked to one of the director of the village committee of Sichuan province in southeastern China. So earlier, another one of our colleagues just followed this guy to understand how he sort of gathered opinions from the locals and to improve the local water infrastructure. And but not just that motion, he has actually a series of motions and suggestions to regenerate the rural area. So he has been elected as a NPC deputy for several years. And during this period, he sort of first lifted that village out of extreme poverty, and then they are moving on to do something more to, for example, expand the income of the local villagers. And he is trying to attract more young people to come back and just find a job and do something to contribute to the development of their home village, just as he did. So yeah, that really impressed me a lot, because you can just get a very vivid idea of what the whole process of people's democracy is, because that sounds like sort of a jargon, but only when you look at the stories of individuals can you understand that.
So most of us are wondering how is now he's proceeding this procedure after your interview, what information you get from him?
Well, he shared with me what he's going to do with the motions and suggestions, and there are designated people from several state departments dealing with what he has handed over. And also he kind of shared with me his opinion on the government report. And there are some national priorities that just meet with the concerns of not just him, but also his villagers. So I think this just a good example that explain how that works in this country.
So you remind me one economist that I previously spoke with, because he this time is proposing some distribution system reform, so that to make sure that the urban-rural development could be fairer. I think that is also one part of the economic plan that the government is working on. And I also wanted to mention that because mostly if we wanted to do the interview inside the Great Hall or outside the Great Hall, we would send mail or we would contact the deputies or the members. No, unlike some of the Western media, doing those kind of interviews just out of blue, this is kind of like not working here for this context.
Well, I should say it's some kind of interview courtesy. So it is a matter of mutual respect, because they are very busy. They have a lot of discussion and
their schedule.
Their schedules.
They have a bus to catch.
Yeah, they have a bus to catch. So I have one story to share with you, because I have also failed in some interview requests.
That's quite often.
The one I failed on is an interview with a living Buddha, also of the delegation of Sichuan province. As you said, he had a bus to catch, so we just leave contact details, and later he talked to me over WeChat. So I think that works for me.
But what's the point of your interview with Buddha?
Well, of course, ethnic minority is a very important part of our large population. So he also, as a NPC deputy for several years, every time he will bring some suggestions regarding to religion and ethnic minority in Sichuan.
Yes. So you can just imagine that how various of walks of life for these deputies and members of the CPPCC. They could be a Buddha, they could be politicians or academics. They also could be the head coach of China's women's football team. They can also be the giant panda breeder. What about you? Any kind of interview stories that you want to share with us?
Well, actually, I have a fun fact for you, because CPPCC, I focus on this, on their events. I just learned that 60% of the 2,000 members of the 14th National Committee of the CPPCC are non-communist.
Yes. I think that's the nature of the political consultative system, right?
Exactly. So all people, people from all walks of lives and all political parties can help China's government to in their state affairs, and also help it, supervise it. When something's wrong, they will point it out. Hey, this is not the right way to do it. Let's change it, right? That's the whole thing about political advisory body, right? And like 60% of them are non-CPC parties.
But the thing is that we can feel, if we talk to them, we can feel, as you mentioned, the word unity. And I think they have the consensus. The thing is that try to build, as the CPC said, that to build a modern socialist country, I think they have the one common goal. So so you're now watching CGTN special roundtables on the 2 sessions live here in Beijing. We're gonna talk about some other topics aside from our reporting experiences. So as I mentioned, that we also encounter some media staff from abroad, for example, CNN or other media, or Japanese media mostly. They would just very busy. So any stories that you wanted to share, or any 2 sessions reporting that you read from them? Because we know that aside from these kind of reportings, we also had the chance to talk to some other foreign media, because CGTN has been on the front lines on many international headlines. For example, Turkey earthquake, Wuhan outbreak, we were there. And also the Ukraine crisis, also the U.S. withdrawal from the Afghanistan. So that's the reason why CGTN has those kind of resources of pulling our thoughts and reportings on their media reports.
Well, I should say one of the top global concerns at this year's political gathering is the Taiwan question. Mm-hmm. So just ahead of this year's two sessions, because of the meddling of, let's say, United States and some other countries, and the escalating military tension across the straits. Mm-hmm. So we noticed the government report has mentioned that, though it's not as strong as some people expected, but it still says something. So to figure out more about what's behind those words and to get an all-round view, I talked to first several NPC deputies from Taiwan province. So maybe some of you didn't know that there are Taiwan deputies in the Congress, but there are over 10 of them. They are now working in the mainland, but they have an origin back in Taiwan. And also, I managed to talk to a former Kuomintang legislator in Taiwan, Zhou and Yilei. Yes. And also, I learned something from, though I didn't met him in person, the head of a non-CPC party, the Revolution Committee of the Kuomintang. Yeah. So basically, the first thing is they agree that China's determination of peaceful reunification is strong. So as I said, there isn't too much to talk about in the work report. It's basically the same as the white book published last year. So most of them agree that peaceful reunification is something we can expect in the future. And the next thing is, since China has already announced that the pandemic has been decisively beaten, either the Taiwan NPC deputies or the politicians in Taiwan and even experts, they are expecting that this year will be a year of relinking. Because as we are speaking now, tomorrow there will be more direct flights between cities in mainland and Taiwan to resume. So it's just one of the example and evidence of relinking, because China has put forward a series of favorable policies over the past 5 years, but because of the pandemic, they were not implemented very well. But right now, it is a chance for Taiwan young people or entrepreneurs to be part of the process of modernization.
So for our international audiences, I just want to put a little bit of understanding in this context, because I think, the politicians on two sides maybe have some different ideas, but people-to-people exchange have been going on there despite pandemic. But now, actually, I think the low point would be after Pelosi's Taiwan visit. But after that, we can feel that it is getting warmer. So that's the reason why you think that the direct flight could be a good news.
And I should say, it's not all the politicians.
Yes, and also I went there. My friends from Taiwan also came to mainland. So we actually have this kind of people-to-people exchanges quite well. We have this kind of good foundation, right? So I'm also very interested in, because you mentioned that there are now 10 deputies or 10 delegates?
13, but I need to double check the number.
So what kind of affairs they're working on, or what kind of issues they're working on?
Well, basically, the deputies I talked to, they now working for the organization called All China Federation of Taiwan Compatriots. That's one, and there's another one, and most of them are now serving Taiwan compatriots to invest and study and do something else in the mainland. So yeah, they something that I would like to add is they feel the government work report sort of give them a guideline and give them confidence to carry out the work to, for example, facilitate investment to and businesses to create a more favorable environment in the coming year.
I see. So we're talking about foreign media's agenda because Taiwan question could be one of those. And what about your observation?
Well, for
about
me,
media coverage?
I think the pandemic is a huge thing for foreign media because they always want to know what's the next step for China's,
recovery.
Yeah, recovery, especially economic recovery. That's the whole point. They want to know everything about it. Like when will China end its COVID policy for good and bring the economy back? It's actually recovering, but all these questions they're always focusing on China's economy. And also, I've heard some questions about the basics of the two sessions. They asked me, what is the two sessions? So I have to explain it to them.
Sure.
But for us, maybe, so if we cover the, two sessions for years, we know it by heart. But for them, it's a really difficult term. It's like two sessions. What are the two sessions? I can't explain to them, okay, it's the annual sessions of the MPC, which is China's top legislature, and the CPPCC, which is China's top political advisory body, these annual meetings. Why it's important, because you know China's achievements over the past year, even years, and China's future directions, and can have a window face to face with China's top officials, experts, and also some of the ministers. We've actually conducted several corridor interviews. You've been there, right?
No, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately. Oh, maybe another colleague of us, right? The corridor interview.
Yeah, we have 3 other reporters.
Yeah.
Are busy with their work.
Yeah, we already covered 2, CPPCC corridor interviews. The reason why they're called corridor interviews or pathway interviews is because they often happen on the walkways, leading to the main lobby of the Great Hall of the People, right before
their plenary
or
session.
after their plenary sessions.
Yes.
So it's like a short meeting with the press. It's a conference with the press, and you can ask any question.
And you can even meet ministers.
Yes. So I've already met 16 political advisors from different areas, different. So at the corridor interviews, you can ask questions to them, cover a range of topics, and they're from everywhere across China, even overseas, Hong Kong, Macau, and we have from Xinjiang, Uyghur Autonomous Region as well. We talk about integration and people-to-people exchanges. So each topic matters to the world. It matters to China. It matters to our life and economy. So that's so exciting about 2 sessions. Now, anything exciting for you? You want to share?
Well, speaking of economy, something I would like to add is, I think from what you've just said, the whole world is eager to learn what China's next move will be.
Exactly.
So high quality development, I think it's something that they would like to
It's one of the keywords.
dig into. Yeah,
a
because it's
keyword, but again, another
jargon.
word needs to be digested for some time.
It might be a little bit confusing for them, but for some either foreign media or those that are more familiar with China, they are already get prepared to join that process with China
So
in high quality development.
Yeah, actually, for the high quality, actually, because China has been keeping a really stable growth over the past decades, and because of the because of the Omicron outbreak, actually, China had difficulties in economic growth last year. So that's the reason why there are groups of hopes about China's economic recovery. But here, high quality is not the first time that the 2 sessions mentioned, because this was included years ago, but I think the essence of that is because now China faces its difficulties improving its economy efficiently. So that's the reason why the government needs to build a more advanced economy, industrial chain, greater manufacturing sectors, and also to try to make sure that the opening up is efficient and beneficiary. So, and actually, I think the growth rate is not in a dilemma with the quality, high quality. Still, we wanted to keep the stable growth, but at the same time, we want to make sure it is high quality, is highly efficient, to make sure that laborers could be distributed in an efficient way, and most of them could be better educated, so that the efficiency could be made. And another issue I think we mentioned a lot is about the new government. I think that's also the concern that many foreign media is talking about. But actually, we are expecting that for tomorrow, right? So at the third plenary sessions. So what's your plan for tomorrow?
Well, as you say, tomorrow we'll be closely watching the new government. So they will, the Congress.
Because I've been asked for many times about that, But actually, I think it will be through a democratic legal process. So that's the reason why we can share with our audience what is our reporting plan for tomorrow.
So first, they will vote for approval the draft amendment to the document of
the institutional reform?
And then
within the State Council.
Yeah, with the State Council, and then of course the election of the president.
Yes, and we'll have the new chairman for the NPC Standing Committee. So I think this time, what is your plan? I'm very interested.
Wow, it sounds like you guys are having a heavy day tomorrow. But
we will.
I think I'm just going to ask around, for opinions and how they feel about the new government and new leadership. Maybe I'll talk to some CPPCC members at the Great Hall of the People tomorrow. But it sounds like you guys are having a lot
We'll be
of
busy in the following days.
Busy, yeah. A busy day tomorrow.
Yeah. But, when we were talking about our assignment, actually, here we have our own work, but we have more reporters, not just here, but also in our different stations across the country. So they've been working on these two sessions for a long, long time ago, and they've been working on, as we mentioned, the whole process, people's democracy, because as Yilei said, that we will be doing some interview with those deputies or members who proposed locally, but now they're here in Beijing. We wanted to ask them how is they proceeding with this process, and we also we also do a series about China's development over the past decade, and we also have reporters talking to some provincial governors. So we've been covering this dynamics of China, sort of things like that, right? So, and have you done any work within that assignment?
When you mentioned the work over the decade, I think we've done plenty of that.
I think
right?
you too, yeah.
I think we've done a special series, right?
Yeah.
We travel around, in some of China's most underdeveloped areas over a decade ago.
Like every dimension of the country's development in the past decade.
In different areas, right? Rural development, poverty alleviation, and what else? What else?
So we're talking a marvelous achievement over the past decade.
A lot has been done in the past decade.
But now I think we're standing at a new starting point. That's the reason why we think this year's two sessions are so important.
And we also have special series regarding to that, like the new deputies and the new journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got some new deputies for this year's two sessions. Yeah. So finally, we just wanted to share with our takeaways from this year's two sessions, because we've been talking a lot about democracy, modernization, the whole process, people's democracy. Why not?
I think the country's development and the well-being of 1.4 billion people take concerted efforts, not only by political advisors, but also lawmakers and other people, officials. And as we talk about the whole process democracy, I think it starts from the grassroots level. That's what fascinates me about this whole process democracy. It starts at the local level and then to the capital, and delivers, it listens to the people's voice and delivers their thoughts to the central government.
Okay.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I also see so much diversity in the CPPCC.
Sure.
Different parties and different ethnic groups and male and female. So that's all diversified. So diversified. This body, China's top political advisory body, the CPPCC National Committee.
What is your key takeaways from the two sessions?
Well, to me, I was here several months ago covering the 20th CPC National Congress. And now I'm back here at a different timing, but the same place. And soon we will have a new government. So to me, it's like you really witness how a vision of the Communist Party of China have been now turned into motions and suggestions of people of all walks of life, and hopefully they will then become concrete actions in the near future that is related to not just the entire country, but also the daily life of you and me.
Yes. Well, my key takeaways would be around, government's efforts to restore the public confidence, because we can feel that from those expressions from the deputies and members of the CPPCC. Because after the COVID, over the past 3 years, our families, every individuals experience different stories. But now it's time for a new, I would say, a ship to sail out, or for every individuals to start over. And also that also demonstrate Chinese government's determination to put its global development and security initiatives wider. And we quite look forward to that. So as a reporter of CGTN, I'm so proud to be part of that. I think you would share with the same pride. Exactly. So you can also, if you wanted to replay our show, our discussions, you can just go to cgtn.com or go to our social media to display our show. And I think that would do for this episode. We'll have the 4th episode for the roundtable on the two sessions. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.